Welcome to another episode of FineScale Modeler Weekly,
the show that brings you everything that's new, fun, and interesting in the world of scale modeling.
Let's kick it off with some new kits.
Academy has been working its way through German World War II tanks.
The latest is a Panzer I Ausf B, a 1/35th scale kit that includes an unnamed motorcycle.
That bike with sidecar is actually a Zündapp K750. It is reproduced in detail with the engine and rear fender, front forks and steering, spoked wheels with separate tires, frame, sidecar, lots of jerry can stowage bins, and an MG34 machine gun. Figures in good poses are included for both the bike and the sidecar. By themselves, this would make a neat scene.
But there is also a full Panzer I with hull belly, sides, front, and rear nicely produced with rivets, panel lines, and fixtures. Much of the hull top is a single part with the fenders, to which is added the engine deck and detailed side plates. Running gear and suspension detail looks sharp with defined leaf and coil springs, nice wheels, and link and length tracks. The turret is largely a single part with a mantlet for the twin machine guns. Separate hatches and tools finish the tank, and there is a commander for the turret hatch with optional heads.
A small photo etch fret supplies the exhaust heat shield and vehicle ID number plates for some of the marking options. Decals give markings for 5 Panzers and a single bike, including a gauge. Tanks shown include one in 2-color camo from the 4th Panzer Division in Poland in 1939, a similarly camouflaged tank from the 3rd Panzer Division in France in 1940, an overall gray machine in Poland in 1939, another in Denmark in April 1940, and lastly, a 1st Panzer Division tank in Poland in 1939.
This looks great, and given how nicely recent Academy kits have gone together, this should be a pretty trouble-free build.
ICM is back with the latest in its range of pioneering vehicles.
After kitting several of the early Model Ts, the Ukrainian manufacturer is now turning its attention to the Model A.
The first, in what looks to be a series of kits of the famous auto, is a 1/24 scale Model A standard Phaeton soft top. No specific year is mentioned, but it refers to the 1930s.
Typical of ICM cars, the frame builds from separate rails and cross members. It gets the Ford 4-cylinder engine with separate transmission and plumbing, accessories, and belts. It connects to the drive shaft and rear axle with separate brakes. The kit calls for the nicely molded wire wheels. The tires are vinyl.
The body builds from the ground up on the frame with the fenders, firewall, dash, and cowl, sides with separate interior panels, and rear. The hood and louvered sides join the cowl and radiator. Inside are 2 bench seats and controls including individual pedals.
The convertible top looks beautiful and features separate internal supports. Clear plastic supplies the windshield, side extensions, the rear window for the top, and lights. The instructions supply templates to mask the windshield inside and out. Decals supply gauges for the dash instruments and 1930s license plates for cars from Ohio in all black, Michigan in a warm gray, and New York in blue. ICM offers a paint set targeted at this kit.
With nearly 5 million Model A's produced by Ford, this is a popular vehicle, and this kit should produce a stunner of a model when it's done.
From a relatively new player, Falcon Scale Models, we received these 3D printed parts.
These will detail Tamiya 1/12 scale motorcycles and 1/20th scale Formula One cars.
The delicately printed items replace parts like chains with open links and fine sprockets, brake details, steering dampers, clutches, fuel systems, and odds and ends like electrical connectors and screws.
I plan on using some of these on a Tyrrell 6-wheeler in the near future, so stay tuned for that.
Italer's 1/35th scale Bedford QL Medium truck traces its lineage to a Peerless Max kit released in 1974.
It's back again in a new box without the 6-pounder gun it has been issued with the last couple of times.
The parts look pretty good, especially given the age of the tooling, with a detailed bed, wheels and drivetrain, engine, and internal fixtures. The only clear part is the windshield.
Cartograph decals give markings for 3 British Army trucks in North Africa. A 1st Armored Division truck in Egypt in 1942, a 7th Armored Division vehicle in Egypt also in 1942, and a 22nd Armored Brigade truck at El Alamein in late 1942.
This is another kit that's making a welcome return to the shelves.
Finally, let's take a quick look at the latest 1/48 scale Hurricane from Arma, a Sea Hurricane Mark II-C.
The plastic parts are the same as the initial kit we looked at in a previous FSM Weekly.
You can see that and read Andy Key's review at the links in the description.
New here are 3D printed parts for the Sea Hurricane's lower rear fuselage with the arrestor hook, fine exhausts, the seat, and the 20mm cannons.
Tech Mod decals supply markings for 3 Sea Hurricanes, a mostly white fighter from number 835 Squadron aboard HMS Nairana in early 1944, an 804 Squadron plane from HMS Dasher wearing American markings for Operation Torch in November 1942, and a naval camouflage bird from number 825 Squadron on HMS Vindex in early 1944.
Arma continues to produce outstanding models, and this Sea Hurricane epitomizes that.
Look for reviews of the ICM Model A as well as the Academy Panzer I and motorcycle at FineScale.com. This episode of New Product Rundown brought to you by Hobby Zone USA, the source for all your workbench storage needs. Do you like what you see here and want more? Subscribe to FineScale Modeler magazine. You'll get 6 issues a year crammed with how-to stories from some of the best modelers around the world. Go to finescale.com/YouTube for a special offer for YouTube viewers like you.
Over the last couple of years, you guys have gotten a lot more comfortable with Tamiya Panaline accent colors. Yeah, right here they are. Now, what are these? For those of you who are not initiated, Tamiya Panaline accent colors are basically enamel washes that are provided in this nice little handy dandy square bottle that looks an awful lot like the bottle that the Tamiya extra thin cement comes in. But comes in this square bottle, comes in a variety of colors. Here are 3 of them. I think dark brown is another one. And then they also have inside the cap that nice little applicator, very fine little brush. So, as I say, it's basically an enamel wash, and that little brush allows you to do, as this very descriptive title says, accent panel lines or apply pin washes. You don't know what a pin wash is? I've got you covered. Tamiya Panaline accent color in action doing a pin wash. Boom. Bang. Just like that. I think there's a little cross section here, so we're gonna go all the way to that. So you can see what that's done there. Now, do we have to imbibe from the table of Tamiya? No. Am I going to continue to imbibe from the table of Tamiya? Absolutely. Will I spend $750, $749 on each of these products? You know it, because they're useful, right? I mean, if you just need to quickly do a easy pin wash and brown is the color that you need, then you just go grab it and you do it. However, do I always turn to these when I need to do a pin wash? Certainly not. Here's what I do at my workbench. I keep an array of artist oils at my workbench, a number of different colors, and I use them for dot filters and making washes when I need to. Here's the thing, I want to make this abundantly clear. There are artist oils out there that are targeted toward modelers that are on the more expensive side. There are professional artist oils out there that, again, would be on par with those artist oils that are targeted at modelers. And then there are those mid-range and even like student artist oils. This would be an example of student artist oils that I have at my workbench too. The biggest difference between the expensive range and the inexpensive ranges is going to be how finely ground the color pigmentation is in these things. Is there going to be a formulation difference? Probably, and there are going to be plenty of you out there who are going to let me know that there's going to be a lot more that goes into the differences between the inexpensive ones and the expensive ones. But at base level, it's how finely ground those pigments are in those, in those artist oils. Here's the thing. You do not have to pick up the expensive ones in order to use this technique on your models and still get a fine looking finish, okay? But I make my own panel line accent colors when I need to from these artist oils, and here's how I do it. First, you'll need some mineral spirits or white spirits. I have Gamsol right here, 100% odorless mineral spirits. You'll need the color of your choice, and you'll need something to mix them in. Let's not forget, you'll also need a fine tipped brush to apply your pin wash with. So put a little bit of the old mineral spirits in you. Color, go in. Now, would I always mix up this amount? Maybe not, but I am mixing this up so that it's enough so that you guys can see what's there, right? And you can see that oil down there in the bottom. Here, let me see if I can, there you go. You can kind of see it down there. We want to make sure all of that stuff dissolves into the white spirit or mineral spirits. So once it is all dissolved, what you want to do is just take a look at it and check the consistency of the color. Now, this color is not that I've mixed here is not a pure black. It's not like a lamp black that I've used. I've used actually an ivory black, so it's going to be slightly different from the black that's in the Tamiya, but there it is. And I'm liking how that looks. So at this point, let's go ahead and apply it to the model. Look at that. Let's go ahead and put some more on there. We can even put some, now just like with the Tamiya, you know, the pigment will settle. So sometimes you just got to give it a little bit of a shake. Nothing too vigorous. A little bit of a shake. Then we can even put some, maybe we'll just touch some right around this area right here. Oh, this raised. Oh, look at that. We'll put some right around this one. Easy as that. Now, inevitably, you're gonna get these little spots where, you know, it's just not as clean as what you had hoped. It's just little mistakes. What you can do is put some mineral spirits on a cotton swab and then really wring out the swab. You don't want it soaked because you're not trying to remove all the work that you've done. All you're trying to do is just get rid of these little spots, right? So maybe even touch it off on a paper towel a little bit before you go after it, and then just touch up those areas that you don't want that Tamiya or your oil wash to have gotten onto. That'll clean that right up for you. There's something else that you can do while you're doing that, and you can also use that same technique to make streaks. Tamiya panel line accent colors are convenient, and that's what makes them so great, right? They're at my workbench. When I need to use black, just pick it up, boop, use it, and it's good to go. However, when I want to have a specific color, if I want to make a wash that is, you know, exactly what I envision, then that's when I turn to the artist oils. And guys, gals, I think having the artist oils at your disposal is a really good thing for you. I know that I'm happy to have them at my workbench. Aaron and I found ourselves at the beginning of June down at Wonderfest
In Louisville, Kentucky. This has been, for a long time, the largest sci-fi pop culture oriented model contests in the United States. And this year it got even bigger.
with 1,118 models on the contest tables, 2 vendor rooms,
All kinds of cool
lots
stuff.
of seminars. It was, yeah, very neat. Some of the companies that go down there, they wait until that show to do the announcements for their sci-fi fantasy lineups. So very cool show. Lots of fun. Very lighthearted. Doesn't take itself super serious.
No.
But while we were there, we shot a bunch of
Photos.
gallery photos, which you can find in the links below. And then we also shot, guess what? Footage of the models at the show. Now, this is, we've done, I think, 4 of these now, right?
Yes.
Right, so 4 shows, 4 FSMWs, 4 wrap-ups. We're gonna give that a rest for a little while. We're gonna get this one out there for you guys. So if you were looking for more show footage next week, well, we're gonna do something else in this segment of the show.
So that's something to look forward to.
Yes, there you go. Anyway, here's Wonderfest.
We'll see you guys next time.
Bye.
ICM is back with the latest in its pioneering range of motor.
Pioneering range?
That bike with sidecar is actually a Zündapp K750. It is reproduced in...
Yeah.
Right. After kidding several...
For the last couple of years, a lot of modelers have started to get awful comfy. We don't need probably the, I'm gonna show you right now. I've got you covered, boom. We'll just cut right to what I'm about to show, yeah? Sean? Tamiya panel. The first weekend in June, we were at Wonderfest in Louisville, Connecticut. Kentucky.
Connecticut.
You can watch the video footage that's coming up
Right now.
No.